Psalm 91. Psalm 91 is a powerful and comforting passage that highlights God's protection and care for those who trust in Him. It consists of promises of safety, deliverance, and peace for believers. Here's a detailed analysis of the psalm, verses 1 to 2. Trust in God's protection. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. These verses introduce the theme of the psalm, emphasizing the security found in God's presence. The terms secret place and shadow of the Almighty suggest intimate communion and protection. The psalmist declares personal trust in God as a refuge and fortress. Verses 3 to 4. Deliverance from danger. Surely He shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. These verses reassure believers of God's deliverance from hidden traps, snare of the fowler, and deadly diseases, perilous pestilence. The imagery of being covered with feathers and taking refuge under God's wings evokes a sense of care and protection, like that of a mother bird with her chicks. God's truth serves as both a shield and a defensive armor. Verses 5 to 6. Freedom from fear. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor of the arrow that flies by day, nor of the pestilence that walks in darkness, nor of the destruction that lays waste at noonday. These verses enumerate various dangers, whether they come by night, day, darkness, or noonday, that believers are protected from. The reassurance here is that God's protection dispels all fear, regardless of the timing or nature of the threat. Verses 7 to 8. Witnessing God's justice. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Only with your eyes shall you look and see the reward of the wicked. The psalmist describes a scenario of mass casualties, but assures that the faithful will remain unharmed. This reinforces the idea of divine protection and the separation of the righteous from the fate of the wicked. Verses 9 to 10. Assurance of safety. Because you have made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place, no evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. These verses reiterate the promise of safety and protection because of the believer's relationship with God. By making God their dwelling place, the faithful can be assured that no harm or plague will come near them. Verses 11 to 12. Angelic protection. For He shall give His angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. Here, the psalmist highlights the role of angels in providing protection. God's angels are tasked with guarding the faithful in all their ways, ensuring that they do not stumble or get harmed. Verses 13. Triumph over enemies. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent you shall trample underfoot. This verse symbolizes victory over formidable and dangerous enemies. The lion and cobra represent powerful and hidden threats, but the believer is assured of triumph over them through divine empowerment. Verses 14 to 16. God's promises to the faithful. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore I will deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him, and show him my salvation. These concluding verses capture God's direct promises to those who love and trust Him. God promises deliverance, elevation, answered prayers, presence in trouble, honor, long life, and salvation. These promises emphasize the intimate and reciprocal relationship between God and the believer. Psalm 91 offers profound assurance of God's protection, emphasizing that those who trust in Him will be safeguarded from various dangers and threats. The imagery used throughout the psalm paints a vivid picture of divine care, security, and deliverance. It encourages believers to place their trust in God, knowing that He is their refuge and fortress in times of trouble. This in-depth analysis of Psalm 91 highlights its enduring relevance and comforting message for believers. If you have any more questions or need further insights, feel free to ask. Hey.
Psalm 121, KJV 1. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. 2. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. 3. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. 4. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. 5. The Lord is thy keeper, the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. 6. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. 7. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil, He shall preserve thy soul. 8. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth, and even for evermore. Psalm 121 is a beautiful expression of trust and confidence in God's protection and care. If you have any other passages you want to explore or questions about the Bible, feel free to ask. Here are 5 reflective questions based on Psalm 121, along with their answers. 1. Why does the psalmist lift their eyes to the mountains? Answer: the psalmist lifts their eyes to the mountains as a symbolic gesture of seeking help. Mountains were often seen as places of refuge or the dwelling place of God. However, the psalmist acknowledges that their true help comes not from the mountains themselves, but from the Lord, the creator of heaven and earth. This act reflects the need to look beyond physical symbols to the ultimate source of help. 2. What does it mean that God does not slumber or sleep? Answer: this phrase highlights God's eternal vigilance and unfailing care. Unlike humans who need rest, God is always attentive and watching over His people. It assures believers that they are never alone or unprotected, as God's care is constant and uninterrupted. 3. How does God act as shade at your right hand? Answer: the image of God as shade signifies His protective presence. Shade provides relief from the harshness of the sun, symbolizing protection from physical, emotional, or spiritual harm. The reference to the right hand suggests proximity and readiness, as the right hand is often associated with strength and action in biblical terms. 4. What is the significance of being protected from the sun by day and the moon by night? Answer: this symbolizes God's comprehensive protection at all times, both in the visible challenges of the day and the hidden dangers of the night. It reflects God's ability to shield His people from all harm, whether it is obvious or subtle, natural or supernatural. 5. What does it mean that God will watch over your coming and going? Answer: this phrase signifies God's protection in all aspects of life, whether in daily routines, journeys, or transitions. It emphasizes that God's care is present in every moment, from the mundane to the significant, and extends into eternity, now and forevermore. It assures believers that God is deeply involved in their lives and is always guiding and safeguarding them. These questions and answers invite deeper reflection on God's protective and constant presence, as described in Psalm 121.